Hi, all. Just wanted to jump on and do my daily really quick. If anything, my life couldn't get more interesting. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about and why I titled this little daily exploring ideas for shows is because for those of you who haven't listened to me before, I've always had an interest in what we call the paranormal. So basically, things outside of the norm. And that includes all sorts of things in the topic of basically ghosts, a lot of things that we can't explain necessarily, and all of that, right? So, to make a long story short, I have been listening to a couple of different podcasts. And back up before I start going into there. I've always been interested in this kind of stuff, but only explored it to a certain level. I really never dove deep. I was never one of those people that played with Ouija boards or anything like that. Never went into that side of things, but I was always traumatized after seeing that movie, The Exorcist. So now I see it all over the place that it's coming back around again. My interest in exploring it further and to the deeper depths of things, I really do feel like it's just reminders of helping bring people back to some sort of spiritual connection, right? And spirituality, and not getting into all that dark side stuff and exploring into things that people don't really know what they're doing. Okay, so on a deeper level, but so I've always been interested, but never went very far deep into it. I learned as an adult, actually, just over the past couple of years, again, due to the media, that even the word like witchcraft is used in, or it's looked at in very negative ways. And that's for a whole nother topic and all of that sort of stuff. But basically, because of being in wellness and me learning about essential oils and crystals and all those magical, beautiful things that are actually very healing and soothing and have it's all, beautifulness that it can add to our life, it has been associated with that dark side world. So I don't believe in any of that. So, you just have to be careful, is what I've learned in regards to using crystals on people's, body and things like that. So that's just something I never dove into as well very deeply. But they sure are beautiful. Um, okay, and I talked about it in another video. I've had my own experiences of things that have happened in my sleep. So I don't have tons of, I guess, weird stories of being contacted, or weird or out of this world stories like that, just stuff that's happened in my sleep that I could talk about another time. My sort of universal connection oddities that have become normal are just things that happen in my everyday life that I have created just, from thinking. And so that's why I feel like in some ways I've become expert at manifesting things into my life that I want. That I want. Um, okay, so getting to this, the ideas for I did one show you'll see on my variety list with a guest named Rocket Randy. He is most Randy Cody. He is known for being one of the most controversial investigative journalists. He's basically done a lot of research, debunked a lot of murders in history, including the Jack the Ripper, the Black Dahlia murders, and a bunch of other stories. So he's pretty controversial, especially in Hollywood. Okay, so we did a show together, and I wasn't sure for me because I know it's unrelated to kind of what I've been doing with the first responders. I know that have always known part of my path is empowering others, right, through mindset. It's just evolved over the years into helping different groups of people specifically. So, speeding it up to now is that I've been listening to a couple of different podcasts over the years, actually, only one in particular, but I and then I keep seeing these different things, like I just told you, bringing up the Exorcist movie, and they keep making different versions and all this sort of stuff. Like, I feel like I still need to know something. I'm supposed to share something. Even, you know, again, I haven't had any personal experience specifically, or that I need to see something from the dark side. I feel like I still need to share something about it. And so I've been listening to these podcasts, and I found one. How did I find him? I think the YouTube was just the most terrifying interview I've ever done. You can look it up. It's called What Lurks Beneath. And it fascinated me for a number of reasons other than the title. But the guest on there, Matt, is I don't want to mispronounce his last name. It's like Emch, Emch, or something like that. Looked him up on Facebook. And basically, on the interview, he's talking about his experience with his friends. He is from Youngstown, Ohio, which also has a rich history, basically about seeing a in-person Dogman, otherwise known, I guess, as werewolf. I don't know. I guess they're used interchangeably, but the new term is Dogman. And so he is a sports broadcaster, and he's almost 50 years old. And basically, he talks about his experience and with this animal that was basically, he said, 10 to 12 feet tall and 4 to 5 feet wide, something like that. And so I am thinking about how I want to integrate him into a show, and that would be about belief systems. That's what this would be about. Now, I don't know that I'm going to make a show of this, but I maybe it might even just be about him and his experiences living in the mainstream world amongst other people that don't believe in any of this kind of stuff. I'm not really sure how to tie it in, but just wanted to keep you posted that I don't really talk about a lot of my other interests. I have so many interests outside of, you know, holistic health, just my other things. Like, I don't know, I feel like all of my interests are basically hobbies, but I've never really pursued this in regards to talking about it like in my shows. I do plan on talking more about, you know, spiritual topics and things like that, but not this specifically with the dark side stuff, which is why I only have one guest on there currently right now. So we will see. Matt is getting a lot. He has his own channel. He's getting a lot of hits over the past 2 weeks. And he's definitely had several million views on the other shows that he's been on. So it's pretty fascinating. I no doubt question anybody that has experiences like this in terms of, um, I guess when it comes to these experiences, it's not like I'm thinking it. I don't view them as fake. It's more so, wow, and why do other people see these things and have these experiences and I haven't? You know, I've explored it enough to believe, like, the reasonings I can come up with behind, you know, certain things in life, like due to past life experiences or family history or whatever it is. Some people have stronger intuitive traits than others. You know, we all are in some ways intuitive or psychic, that you call it, but I just become more intrigued the more I hear as well that this experience that we are all here on earth is fake and an illusion. So that kind of trips me out on that, especially when, you know, there are tangible things here, like, you know, our bodies, physical, tangible, touchable things, you know, tables, chairs, cars, objects. And when you hear a lot of spiritual people talking about those things being an illusion and fake, I don't really get that part. Other things I can relate to when it comes to illusions, as far as thoughts in our mind that we create to be true, but not as, I don't think of it, like I can't relate to it like with the stuff that they are describing. So it's, I don't know, all there's just so much stuff that just becomes confusing. It messes with my head. And sometimes I feel out of my head because I'm like, okay, everything I thought that was true. This is just continuing on. Everything I thought to be true is not. So, including Dogman. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now, and we'll see where this goes. So, my life couldn't even get more exciting, I'm sure, than this, because this is pretty wild. So, if you want to check that out, the interview that I saw is from What Lurks Beneath, and he's very thorough about his story there. So we will see how this goes, and just wanted to fill you in. Wanted to fill you in on what I might be talking about, and maybe there's some way I can incorporate it into what I'm doing with the first responders and military. I know he has some stories, but I'll probably put this under variety show. And again, regarding mindset training, strength, holding ourselves together against the dark to fight the dark. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening.